Brace for a wild ride across Earth's most mind-bending borders, hidden enclaves, and jaw-dropping landscapes, from the endless dunes of the Sahara to the twisting passes where nations collide. Dive into the chaos of square miles, ocean-carved coastlines, and the epic national highway that slices through Russia's frozen expanse, proving our planet's geography is straight-up crazy.
What if a place had no roads for 1,000 miles and no one had ever driven across it? That's exactly what happened in Niger's Tena Desert. The Tena is part of the Sahara's empty quarter, one of the most isolated places on Earth, covering approximately 154,440 square miles. For centuries, only the nomadic Tuareg people crossed it, not by car, but by camel, navigating through scorching heat and endless dunes. The first vehicle to cross the Tena was in 1952, and it took 20 days of constant travel to make it through. There are no paved roads, no permanent settlements, just sand, heat, and silence for over 1,000 miles in every direction. That's bigger than the entire country of Maryland and Delaware combined, and it's still one of the least traveled places on the planet. Now you know, but what's the most impossible geography fact from your country? Did you know Bermuda is the only British territory surrounded by open ocean on all sides? It lies approximately 89.5 miles off the coast of North Carolina, but is not part of the United States. It's a British overseas territory. Bermuda has no land borders. It is completely surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean, making it one of the most isolated British territories in the world. The island is 23 miles long and less than 2 miles wide at its broadest point, yet it is a self-governing territory, with the UK handling only defence and foreign affairs. Here's the kicker: Bermuda is closer to North Carolina than to any other British land, yet it's still under the jurisdiction of the United Kingdom. If you drove the length of Bermuda, it would take you about an hour or more, but it would take over 10 hours to fly to the nearest British mainland. So, what other bizarre geography facts does your country have? Drop them in the comments. Did you know Bhutan has a border pass so high it's only open for 1 day a year? Bhutan's mountain valleys rise to elevations of over 10,000 feet, making them some of the most extreme in the world. The Phobjika Valley floods during cloudbursts, submerging entire villages for 3 months each year. One of the most remote border passes, the Dok Hula Pass, sits at over 10,000 feet and is only accessible for a limited time during the annual melting of snow. The pass is so remote and dangerous that only a handful of people have ever crossed it without a guide. If you drove from the base of the pass to its summit, it would take over 20 hours on a clear day. And scientists still can't explain why the pass remains so untouched by modern travel. Did you know Bhutan has a national highway that is over 400 kilometers long, stretching from the western to the eastern part of the country? Surrounded by the Himalayas, where elevations reach up to around 23,000 feet, Bhutan's geography is one of the most rugged in the world. Because of these mountains, the country has no major cities connected by paved roads. Most people travel by foot or local trails. The national highway connects the capital, Thimphu, to other parts of the country, including the border with India. But here's the kicker: despite its rugged terrain, Bhutan has no traffic lights at all. The entire country relies on manual traffic control and small village roads. It's like driving in a mountain village everywhere you go. And if you drove the entire national highway, it would take significantly longer due to its length and mountainous terrain, but you'd see more mountains than cars. Did you know your country has a geography fact just as wild? Comment it below. What if an entire country could fit inside your city's downtown? That's exactly what San Marino is. San Marino is just 23.5 square miles in size, making it the 5th smallest country in the world. To put that in perspective, the entire country is smaller than the city of Chicago. And here's the kicker: you could walk from one end of San Marino to the other in under 2 hours. Despite its tiny size, San Marino has its own government, army, and even a national football team. If you drove from one side to the other, it would take you less than 20 minutes. So next time you think your city is small, remember, San Marino is smaller. What's the tiniest country you've ever heard of? What if a country stretched 2,653 miles long, but was only 177 miles wide? That's Chile, the world's narrowest country, stretching from the Atacama Desert in the north to the Patagonian Glacier in the south. At its narrowest point, it's just 177 miles wide. That's less than the length of a marathon. You could fly from the driest desert on Earth to the windiest region in the world in a few hours. And from a plane, you can actually see both the eastern and western borders of Chile in a single glance, a geographic rarity. That's over 4,000 miles of coast, glacier, volcanoes, and deserts, all in one long, skinny country. So what's the most mind-blowing geography fact about your country? Did you know there's a country entirely locked inside another? Welcome to Lesotho, the only nation on Earth surrounded by just one other country, South Africa. Lesotho is slightly larger than West Virginia, but it sits at an average elevation of about 6,424 feet, making it one of the highest countries in the world. Its highest peak, the Banner Entelena, rises over 11,000 feet, higher than Mount Rainier in Washington state. But here's the twist: despite being landlocked, Lesotho has over 30 major rivers, all flowing into South Africa. This means Lesotho is both a highland kingdom and a freshwater powerhouse, all while being completely enclosed. And if you're wondering, yes, Lesotho could fit inside West Virginia with little to no room to spare. Now tell me, what's the most bizarre geography fact about your country? Did you know one country shares borders with more nations than any other on Earth? Russia shares land borders with 14 different countries, more than any other nation in the world. These borders stretch over 20,000 miles, winding through both Europe and Asia. The sheer size of Russia means it touches a staggering number of neighboring countries, from Norway in the north to Azerbaijan in the south. But here's the twist: despite all these borders, Russia only shares a language with one of them, Kazakhstan. That's right, even with 14 neighbors, only Kazakhstan speaks a language closely related to Russian. Now you know, what's the most surprising geography fact about your country? What if a cave system larger than Manhattan has never been fully explored? Welcome to the Bajada Cave System in the Philippines, the largest unexplored cave system on Earth. So far, explorers have mapped 25 miles of its passages, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. Scientists believe the full system could stretch over 100 miles, more than twice the length of Manhattan. And here's the kicker: explorers have only mapped 10% of the cave. The rest remains untouched and unknown. If you drove the length of the entire cave, it would take you over 8 hours, and we've only driven 1 hour so far. What secrets could still be hiding in the dark? Comment below with your wildest cave theories. Did you know a country exists that's only 26 miles wide at its narrowest point? That country is Yemen, and its coastal region along the Red Sea is just 12 miles wide in some places. Despite this, Yemen covers approximately 176,000 square miles, bigger than California alone. This narrow strip has been home to ancient ports and some of the oldest civilizations in the Arabian Peninsula. It is possible to see parts of Yemen's Red Sea coastline and nearby islands from the air. Imagine driving through a country that has a narrow coastal strip stretching over 200 miles long. It's like a desert ribbon by the sea. What's the most surprising geography fact about your country? Let us know in the comments. Did you know a tiny piece of Azerbaijan is stuck inside Russia, and Russia is stuck inside Poland and Lithuania? This village is called Lechigin, and it's the only part of Azerbaijan located inside Russia's Kaliningrad Oblast. But here's the twist: Kaliningrad itself is an exclave, separated from mainland Russia by Poland and Lithuania. To reach Lechigin from the rest of Azerbaijan, you must travel through Russia, Poland, and Lithuania, making it one of the most geopolitically complex villages in the world. Europe is full of these oddities. There are many enclaves and exclaves across the continent. Kaliningrad is about 5,800 square miles, smaller than Maryland and almost as big as Connecticut. What's the weirdest geography fact from your country? Comment below. We're all just a few borders away from being lost in time. Did you know there are 102 Indian enclaves where you can be in two countries at once? These are the enclaves of India and Bangladesh, land pockets of one country inside the other. The largest enclave is significantly larger than 20 acres in size, not smaller than a football field. Some enclaves are surrounded by other enclaves, creating a checkerboard pattern of borders. For decades, people living in these enclaves had no official nationality until a 2015 agreement finally resolved their status. This bizarre border situation dates back to a colonial-era treaty, and it's still one of the most confusing in the world. What's the weirdest geography fact in your country? You won't believe the coldest temperature ever recorded in a town, 96 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. This town is Oymyakon, Russia, the coldest permanently inhabited place on Earth. Located deep in Siberia, Oymyakon's average winter temperature is 49 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. To survive the cold, residents keep their car engines running all night to prevent them from freezing solid. Children are only excused from attending school when temperatures drop below -52 degrees Fahrenheit. Oymyakon is so remote that it's over 1,000 miles from the nearest major city, Yakutsk. What's the coldest place you've ever visited? Comment below, and don't forget to warm up. Did you know you could walk from one border of a country to the other in under 10 minutes? That country is San Marino. San Marino is just 8.75 kilometers long at its widest point and significantly narrower at its narrowest. Despite its tiny size, San Marino has its own government, army, and even its own passport. San Marino has been independent for over 700 years, longer than the United States has existed as a constitutional republic. From Mount Titano, you can see both of San Marino's borders with just a short hike. If you drove the length of San Marino, it would take you less than 20 minutes, and you'd still have time to spare. San Marino is so narrow, you could walk from one side to the other in under 10 minutes. Did you know a single river divides a country into two completely different worlds? Welcome to Paraguay, where the Paraguay River splits the Chaco region into two very different worlds. The river is approximately 1,400 miles long and forms a natural border through the heart of the Chaco. One side is dry and sparsely populated, while the other is lush and fertile, supporting a thriving ecosystem. The Chaco region itself covers about 400,000 square miles, bigger than the state of Maryland. Despite being in the same country, the two sides of the river have different ecosystems, cultures, and even languages spoken in some areas. And scientists still can't fully explain why the Chaco remains so sparsely populated despite its size. What's the most surprising geography fact about your country? Did you know a piece of Azerbaijan is surrounded by Armenia and Russia? It's called Nakhchivan, and it's completely cut off from the rest of the country. Nakhchivan is an autonomous region about 2,124.62 square miles in size, bordered by Armenia, Iran, and Russia-controlled territories. Despite being surrounded, Nakhchivan operates as a self-governing region with its own government and even issues its own passports. The region became an exclave after the collapse of the Soviet Union, when Armenia gained independence and cut off the land bridge to the rest of Azerbaijan. Nakhchivan is also home to ancient carvings and unique cultural traditions, making it a fascinating blend of history and geography. That's slightly smaller than the state of Delaware and about 1.75 times the size of Rhode Island combined. What's the most bizarre geography fact from your country? Comment below.